Let's grind it down to the local issue here. We have proposals in the state legislature that is going to establish a moratorium for the length of time that a truck has to be retrofitted or replaced. We have independent truck dealers who are not part of companies that are being forced, or at least being advocated that they be forced to be part of companies. We have a whole myriad of issues with truckers who are coming in and back to the port, and when they have to have their truck retrofitted or replaced. That is huge. That can put a independent driver out of business.
And I think, again, government becomes, in this case, the regulator, or if you will, the referee of this sport. The object of the exercise is making the trucks more efficient and getting to the point that we're able to do that, while at the same time protecting and preserving and encouraging people to want to use this port because it's an economic engine that's created. I think that you can achieve all of that. And everyone will have to come to the table and figure out where their interests are. There is a proposal, for example, in Los Angeles that's moving over here now that would say that all of the truck drivers would have to belong to a company and there'd only be so many franchises allowed. And so that would, in fact, eliminate the truckers who are independent truckers. So you have some pushback on that concept. If you're a large trucking company, you think that's a great idea because you would have the capital to buy the new trucks, but the independent trucker would probably be left out of that. So there's pushback there. And again, in each of those, there's room to negotiate. The thing that we have to do is, rather than say we're going to continue to do business as usual, yes, we can make trucks operate more efficiently. Yes, we can get better types of fuel. Yes, we can move the goods more efficiently through things like the Alameda Corridor. We're about to retrofit the 710 freeway to make that more efficient for goods and service movement. We've already begun to do some things. Senator Lowenthal pioneered expanding the hours that we did it. I mean, at one point here in Long Beach and Los Angeles, we took the position that trucks had to move between 8 and 5. Why? What was it about from 6 o'clock in the afternoon until 5 o'clock in the morning that prohibited you from moving goods and services? Nothing. Well, if you just expanded the time, you could clearly reduce the traffic. Because one of the things that is really a problem here in Long Beach, particularly in West Long Beach, is the fact that you have trucks idling. I mean, the object of the exercise is you want that truck to move. Diesel engines work much more efficiently when they're operating as close to 55 miles an hour as possible. So if you've got trucks sitting and idling, you now have the worst of all worlds. So you want to do a better job of scheduling so that the truck driver comes, picks up his load, and takes off, so that you don't have a whole lot of people just sitting there idling. You want to make sure that you're scheduling it so that you don't have all the trucks on the same 710 freeway at the same time, because we ain't going to widen the freeway enough to accommodate the potential load that you can have. So you've got to expand that. Additionally, we're going to have to make sure that some things that can be moved at night, you move them at night, so that you make a better utilization of the space by expanding the time at which it works. It allows you to work around when people who are not directly involved in the port go to school and work and other kinds of things. It can be done, but you have to focus on it holistically so that you're able to preserve the job, maintain the economy, as well as make the environment better for everyone.
That's a very, very delicate balance, and it takes great mediation and sensitivity on the part of the government and also on the part of both unions and truck drivers and environmentalists to be reasonable as well. I want to talk about unions a little bit. What does the truck drivers union play, what role do they play in this type of conflict?
Well, I mean, one of the things that the union has begun to see is that the same pollution that the people are breathing, their truck drivers are breathing. I mean, they don't have a special allocation of air to breathe. So if you're sitting in an inefficient truck, that inefficient truck is also going to affect that driver. So the better type of equipment that we have for that truck driver, the better the working condition is for that union worker. So the union has begun to recognize that it's also in their interest. They've also begun to realize that the better working condition that they create, the happier their driver and the more work he's able to do. By increasing the efficiency of the driver is more productive and more profitable. The union is a better representative, and we're all become better stewards of the environment. So the two are not mutually exclusive. Some people would like to say the union simply wants more money for its drivers. Well, that's true. But they're also looking at the working condition of the driver. Because if the driver is sick or disabled, then he's not able to work, and then everybody loses at that point. So the driver is not immune to the same asthmatic conditions that affect the children in West Long Beach.
I want for you to talk about, in no uncertain terms, how important is the ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach to the nation and the world?
45% of all of the goods that you see at Walmart, Target, Costco in the United States come through the Port of Long Beach and Los Angeles. That's huge. So you have distribution centers that these containers go to where that material is broken down and they're taken on trains and trucks to Chicago and places as far away as Detroit and St. Louis. So this is the distribution center for the entire western United States for goods and services that you see at stores. So you're going to see a whole lot of ramp up here in the next month or so that's already begun of the goods coming in for the Christmas rush at these stores. All of that commerce comes through the Port of Long Beach and Los Angeles. So it is the major shipping hub. And as Mayor Foster has said, we don't want to become the sacrificial lamb, so to speak. We don't want to sacrifice our lungs here in Long Beach so that someone in Chicago can have a Merry Christmas. That's not fair to the people here. We want to make sure that we're able to provide those goods and services that people have come to enjoy and protect the health and welfare of the people here in Long Beach.
Quickly, we only have about a minute left. The job of a commissioner of the ports in Los Angeles and Long Beach, what role do they play? I mean, are they the mediators, or are they for corporate America, or are they for environment? What role does a commissioner play, at the port commissioner in this area?
I mean, ultimately, their job, Commissioners Cordero and Doris Topsy-Halvert, and that's bad because I don't remember the rest of them, Hankler. The thing that they'll be able to do is take all of that data, the data about how the trucks are moving, the data about the tipping point, the data as to what are the current technologies available, and make sure that they're applied in the Long Beach port to the benefit of everybody here. They are, in fact, the stewards of that piece of land that we call the Port of Long Beach.
Rod, thank you so much for being on our program. Every time you come, you've talked about the propositions, and many of my guests have said you've made it very, very clear to them. I hope today that our audience also have benefited from Rod explaining about the importance of the ports of Long Beach and Los Angeles, and the tipping point as he talks about it in terms of environmentalists, in terms of unions, in terms of our little kids and our lungs, and also the goods and services that the trucks take to our nation. I want to thank you for being on all sides and coming and explaining this very, very important issue.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me.
Rod Wright, who is the legislative analyst for Senator Parada from Oakland, who is the president pro tem of the California Senate, talking about the trucking issues and environmental issues at the ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach. We'll be right back with another guest on another side after these messages.